Abbeyfeale, Main Street, and it was a forge. On a cold, sad day in '79, we waited with sinking hearts for the coming of the powerful JCB to destroy a part of our past. For 200 years the old forge served us well, but at last it had closed its doors. The fire it went out, the blacksmith passed on, then its windows like dead eyes closed. Once in this little house lived the Maid family, able blacksmiths like father, like son, dressed in brown leather aprons, their muscles like steel. With their hammers the anvil it rang, and for us going to school was an unwritten rule to peep in at the door as we passed. Those were busy days then for horses and men. Henry Ford, he put pay to all that. Neath the shady old patch, did I sing that? You'll hear
between a temperate and a torpor. It should be given by two people. You'll figure it out in your own way. It goes like this. A temperate and a torpor met. It being the depth of winter, the day was dreary, cold and wet, and a tavern they did enter. The torpor to the temperate said, I love you as a brother. There are a few bob I have to spend this squally hour to smother. The bells will ring and I will sing, and you can join in chorus. We'll neither envy queen or king with our jug and glass before us. Stop, my friend, the temperate said, for you know that I'd be at you. For as all the people must have heard, I've been to Father Matthew. Our temperate tongue will sing a song, and you can join in chorus, for we are glad, rich, proud, well clad, with our medals hung before us. You know the sweetest song you ever sang would sound both sour and silly, from a kill-dried lung to a thirst-parched tongue from within a frame that's chilly. You can't discourse in verse or prose, but drawn, harsh, hoarse and heavy, while we in our tours show us spunk and sport, and with every toe sing merry. Your medals, they're the miser's badge, and such do not control us, for while they shiver in your fobs, our bumpers flow before us. Stop, my friend, do not offend our Christian congregation by giving our pure medals that slanderous appellation. We then regard as an outward garb against such vile temptation, being got from that wonder-working man to call for abomination. We go to Mass the time to pass, in prayer and devotion. We envy not your jug and glass with our bread and tea before it. But your silly ass, we go to Mass and hear it with devotion, then take our glass the time to pass without the least commotion. Priests and prelates do the same, and I'm sure they've no bad notions, as past and present clergy of fame all took their pleasant motion. And if you intend now to maintain that dull and dire contention, it's all in vain, and naught shall you gain, for scriptural facts I'll mention. What scriptural passage can you quote to back abomination? See, drunkards drank with every class that's marked for condemnation. You're the murderer, the idolater, the reviler, the traitor, the slanderer, the adulterer, the thief and fornicator. So speak not loud and be not proud, for you still are fairly sober, and I am bound in language sound to put you down, you toper. Did not our Saviour change to wine the 6 stone troughs of water? And if he did not please his power divine, that same he'd never alter. Then I ask you, was it a sin to take and drink it after? Answer that, and whether not your prattling tongue doth falter. Noah drank, and would you rank him with such perpetrators? So did Lot, and friend, why not we be their imitators? Well, I own that there are a few preventative plans of scriptural innovation for us to use our drinking drams to keep us from starvation. To be sure, it is a brewer of evil inclination, but that stuff so pure could never endure to dwell in profanation. Ah no, but it breeds of the foulest deeds, of disgust and dissipation. It gives roots to weeds that never had seeds in a poor man's imagination. He'd curse and swear and belch and blare and set the fair a-fighting, and the friend he tears who interferes who has ne'er done with righting. Then with raiment tattered mire and mud, and clotted blood all over, that stupid, stubborn, starving cur regrets his case when sober. Oh, but those gall-butted gluttons should make no hesitation, but go and be glad to find a cure against such dire dissipation. But the civil, social, jovial class, who ne'er exhaust their treasure, but take their glass and ne'er be cross, and pay and part with pleasure. Those of the train which I maintain should not be bound forever from that which will sound both sorrow and frown, and make a clown more clever. And now I rap, give me the best drop, for ere my tongue doth falter, I warrant you all before I stop, that stupid ass I'll halter. Begone, you clown, you are put down. Go and give me a better author. Now you may feel snow at your heels, and I fair weather after. Temperate. Well, to make a drunkard yield to reason, it's all in vain and ocean. No more I'll swim against the stream of dull and dire contention, but the witty and wise may judge my theme and give a fair decision. Now as he withdrew, then I ask you, who are both sensible and sober, which of us two were false or true, temperate or the token.
When I got home, I wrote a piece about it, and I'm going to read you a few little pieces from it. The first person who speaks to you in Listowel, besides the landlady, is an old woman, and she's sitting on an ESB box outside the Listowel Arms. And she calls you over and asks you to go to the shop and buy her some bananas. You look at her perplexed, mentally assessing her for poverty or disability, and rejecting both. And you wonder if you heard her right, so you say why, in a puzzled kind of way. She looks at you as if you were stupid, and says indignantly, "Because I like bananas." And you suppose that's a good enough reason, and you go to the shop and pick up 4 bananas. And the man in the shop says it's great to see you again, and you ask him about the old woman, and he says not to mind her, that she's just a bit daft, and always asking people for things. And you put back 2 of the bananas, and you buy 2 for yourself instead, and later you feel kind of guilty and wonder how long she waited to see if you'd come back. And you find your friends from other years and other continents, and the crack begins. When you think back on it, there are so many events that your mind gets muddled, but the one you think most about, or talk most about, is the American writer called David Sedaris. The Plaza Centre was packed and everyone laughed for an hour, and then, I'm skipping bits, and then you rushed off to see Alice Sebold because you were very interested in hearing her. And Alice kept reading and reading and reading and reading. And eventually, you couldn't wait any longer to see what she was like in the question and answer session. And you were too tired anyway after laughing so long at David Sedaris, so you got up and left to go to the Arms for a coffee. And later, you heard that she kept reading for an hour and answered questions very briefly, and that a rude man stood up and said he was not very impressed with her reading, and that she answered, "Well then, I think I don't love you, sir." At 5 the following morning, when the big Monaghan man, Patsy, with the long white hair, was holding forth in the lobby of the Arms about the time he swallowed his wife's HRT pills, the lift doors opened, and out came Alice with her suitcase to head for the airport and say goodbye to Ireland again. I suppose she'd got a good night's sleep. The session in the Arms continued without her, and the revellers might well have been snoring in their beds at last, as she settled into her transatlantic flight, and who knows what she thought of us at all at all. And then there was Richard Dawkins in the big top of Fawcett Circus in the square further up the town. The big top and circuses in general seem to be a bit of an anachronism in contemporary society. And you think it's kind of funny that the evolutionary expert gets to propound his theories there. And Kevin Myers interviewing him is in top form. And all around are sections of tiered seating radiating out from the circus ring, and 900 people packing the place, and it's a kind of beautiful sight. The lucky ones who got there early are hanging over the barrier at the front, as if to get closer to the great man. And there's a buzz of expectation as you all strain to get a look at the main performers, and they're sitting in 2 armchairs as if they're at home in someone's living room having a lively chat. Sitting in 2 armchairs in the circus ring in Fawcett Circus in Listowel, County Kerry. Well, as your 6-year-old son said 13 years ago when you pointed out to him that your pensioner neighbour Mr. Fahy had a new leather jacket, you wouldn't see the likes of that every day.